How did Issa Rae go from making YouTube videos to striking a mega $1 million deal with Warner Media? You know, the final season of Insecure has started. I haven't watched it yet, but it's definitely one of those things that I love to binge watch at the end. But, you know, Issa Rae has been doing her press tour, right? She's been going around and everyone's like calling all these numbers, you know, Charlemagne the God exaggerating it. But before we get into that, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all the above. This video is brought to you by Brand Video Pro. We help brands and influencers increase their influence and sales. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, click the link down below, head on over to our website and find out all the ways that we can help you. All right, let's begin. She hasn't announced how much money she made. It was announced earlier that it was around $40 million, but she debunked that really quickly. Even I thought that was pretty low. She says that that was pretty low too. But like, think about it, right? Shonda Rhimes did a deal with Netflix that was $100 million. Prior to that, Shonda Rhimes had probably had about 5 shows on ABC. Probably like 3 of them were massive hits. Maybe even more, actually. And so she strikes this $100 million deal, right? So, I mean, Issa Rae has had, you know, I know she's executive produced 2 HBO shows, including Insecure. I know she has a lot going on in the online space because, to be honest, that's where eyeballs are right now, right? She has Issa Rae, her YouTube channel, where she features short films by Black filmmakers. Let me see, Issa Rae Productions, yeah. So she had this really popular series on there called Giants. You know, outside of that, she's had shows, and even if like maybe she wasn't the show creator, but she's empowered a lot of people. She's done movies, she's done all this stuff. You know, I'll let Gayle King break down her accomplishments.
Yeah, because let me remind you about the last 5 years for you. This gives me so much joy. Covers of Variety, Rolling Stone, Vanity Fair, Self Magazine. You've also produced and starred in at least 3 movies. And oh, by the way, you got married too.
So she's accomplished a lot. So to think that they would give her $40 million and they would give Shonda Rhimes $100 million, I don't think so. Like, I definitely think it's around the $100 million mark. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. We're not going to talk about how much money is in her account. We're not even going to talk about her, you know, wedding pictures and her husband and all of that. No, we're going to talk about her career and how did she become so successful as a YouTuber turned show creator, executive producer, millionaire, right? Multi-millionaire. You know, the first thing is she just did it. She just started. She didn't have much, like, in terms of resources. She didn't have much in terms of resources. She didn't have a lot, but she did it anyway. And that is probably the hardest part, the hardest thing. But she did it anyway, right? Even if she was like shoestringing, she hustled and she did it anyway. So if anyone here wants to be a show creator, you're in there. Like, I know when you get into the Hollywood system, it really puts you underground. But the thing about YouTube is you put it on YouTube, it has the ability to be seen by every and anyone, right? She even said it herself. Her show didn't go viral. Her show wasn't one of those shows that went viral, but it helped her get discovered. So even if like you're a show creator, you make something, and obviously we can see the production quality of Awkward Black Girl, which was like her show. It wasn't like highly produced. It was just it stood out. It stood out because she was the only one doing anything like that in that time. Now we have a lot of web series on YouTube. There's a lot of competition. Right? So how do you stand out now? Guess what? You do it anyway, because when Netflix comes for you, when HBO are looking for people, they want to see people, they want to discover people, right? They want to see what you've done. So I don't think it's useful for someone to, you know, stay in their room right behind their computer. I don't like, yeah, you could get discovered, but what are the chances, right? You can get discovered by a lot more people if you create something like, and you actually, and people actually see your stuff, even if you don't get the publicity, and you can get the publicity. Let me tell you something. I have a little secret. A lot of these like companies that produce web series, they just pay for Google ads. So their series might have 500,000 views, but it's because they paid for Google ads to give it more exposure. And Google ads are not that expensive. So if you want a show that you created to get like 500,000 views, secret, this is like a major key. You wanted to get like 500,000 views, maybe even 1 million views. You put Google ads on it. You put Facebook ads on it, and then you can increase your viewership that way, and you will increase awareness. You know, it's not going to necessarily be organic fully, but it's going to bring people to your platform. You know, so that's one thing to do. But I'm going to give you a little like pro tip, is that the channel that the video that you use to advertise, right, should be a separate video from the video that you're promoting. Because with Google ads, if you like, the channel that you're using to advertise is going to be manipulated. So it's going to affect your organic reach on that channel. So open up 2 channels. One for your Google ads, where all your ad content is going to go on and be promoted, and it should link to, that ad should link to your official channel, right? So when people start watching a video that you posted, you could have the whole video be an ad, right? And it's on from that ad channel. But when they click the link, it takes them to your real YouTube page. And that's how you can like monitor your organic reach, so you can ensure that you get organic reach. It's a very important pro tip. But let's go back to Issa Rae. So she was able to do this by not only opening the door, or not only creating a platform for herself, but opening doors for a lot of people. And guess what? There's so many people, like I learned it from Issa Rae myself, right? Like some of the key points that she said is network on your level. Everyone's always trying to get to the guy on top, or the people on top, or the people that are already more established. Network on your level, because you guys come up together. That's a big key that she said. Another key that she said, and I just lost it. Oh, it was coming to me before, but hopefully it'll come back to me. But point is, another key that she says is, so not only did she build a platform for herself, she built a platform for so many people. And that is why she's as impactful as she is today. So think about it, right? She has, Insecure. On Insecure, she puts all these actors on her platform, right? All these Black actors, all these Black showrunners, all these Black writers. Everyone is Black on the show, because her goal, which might not be your goal, but her goal was to open doors for Black people where those doors had been shut. So she put all these Black people on her platform to give them the chance to, at the very least, they can say, well, I've worked on this HBO show before. So she opened doors in that way, but she didn't stop there. This is what makes it more interesting, right? She then had her YouTube channel that already had a massive audience, and she produced shows. So she gave other showrunners, other show creators the opportunity to create shows, and funded their shows on her platform. She also allowed people to submit their short films to her platform, which gives you more visibility, right? If your film plays on Issa Rae's platform, well, it's going to get visibility. You're going to get attention for it. So that's another thing that she did, right? And then to add to that, not only did she do all of that, she also opened up a Patreon account, and this is for people that were paying her on a monthly basis. Super smart business, because she was making good money she's making good money from her HBO show. Now she's making good money from Patreon, because people are paying her directly on Patreon. And on Patreon, she has this series called SIP. And in SIP, she sits down with very established people in film and TV and media and entertainment in general. She sits down with them and she asks them important questions, right? Important questions to give people the tools, to give people the knowledge, to help them sort of build, right? And you're coming, and think about it, right? When people interview Issa Rae, it's typically just like a journalist or somebody that in a conference, not necessarily somebody that has worked in the industry at the level that Issa Rae has worked in and understands the behind the scenes. So think about the perspective when you have someone like an Issa Rae interviewing someone like a P. Diddy, or someone like a Kenya Barris, right? It really just opens that many more doors, right? Or it gives you more access to more information about how to navigate those systems, right? Those pathways. So yes, she's done amazing things. And okay, so why is she so successful? I think the answer to that is because she opened so many doors for so many people. And what did that mean? It's not only just like a law of generosity, or it's not just a thing where like, you know, what you give is what you get in life, because that's really like, that's the foundation of it, right? She gave a lot, so she got a lot. But not only that, but she created so many new ways for her to be able to get exposure and get monetization, right? Think about it. If we only saw her show on HBO, right? We only saw her show on HBO, we would only know her from a traditional television lens. But no, she wanted to keep her online presence because she understands the current media landscape. So what did she do then? She pushed out a bunch of films on her platform, promoting the Issa Rae brand further, getting more eyeballs on her brand from the top all the way to the bottom. This is the genius that got her to where she is. When you think from top to bottom and you service everyone in between, that can really help you grow. Now, not everyone is going to be able to get to the top, but when you start from the bottom and you learn how to service from the bottom, and if you're lucky enough to leap to the top, or sometimes you just have to climb all the way to the top, and then you just maintain all of that, right? Because a lot of people, they start from the bottom, they get to the top, and they forgot how they got there. But Issa Rae never did that. She always ensured that she serviced every single niche, you could call it that she had to go through. So she discovered the way, and she made that a path for other people to go through that way too. That is why she's as big as she is. It's huge, and she's a genius, and I can't wait to see the new stuff. She has a lot more stuff coming out, and she's someone to really learn from. Like, definitely somebody to learn from, definitely someone to look out for. She's still on the come up. She's only in her mid to late 30s. She's really young, very successful already. How did she get there so fast? Because of this strategy that she used. And another thing I would say, because like you could look at someone like a Jake Paul, right? He kind of did the same thing, but the difference between what Issa Rae Productions did and what Team 10 did was that Team 10 was taking a percentage. It was almost like Team 10, and I hate to say it this way, but Team 10 was almost exploiting its creators. But Issa Rae was more beneficial to her creators, or more beneficial to anyone that worked with her, which in turn, when that person gets pushed and gets more famous and gets bigger, because she really discovered real talent, not just like, look at Team 10, there was not a lot of real talent there. But Issa Rae created doors for real raw talent. That's another thing, right? And she helped push them and propel them to the next level. And so as those people are pushed and propelled and their name gets spread out, people are going to look, how did that person come up? And they're going to see, oh, it's through Issa Rae, which increases her value. It's a genius strategy, and she's a genius for it. I don't know. She went to Stanford. Stanford has a great business school. I don't even know if she studied business. I don't even know how she figured out this strategy, but it's genius, and congratulations to her. I can't wait to see this new season of Insecure and to see the rest of the stuff that she has in stores.
I still feel like a beginner in many ways. I have so much more to do.
Anyway, let me know your thoughts on Issa Rae. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all the above. My name is Kenim, and see you next time. A peace.